Hello and welcome to VPTV and our new series Behind Every Successful Leader, where we celebrate the power of virtual support in business growth. I'm Copsey, founder of Virtually Priceless and the Visionary VA Circle, and my goal isn't to just showcase how entrepreneurs work with VAs, but to highlight the incredible impact VAs have in making businesses more successful. This series is about championing VAs, raising industry standards, and showing the world why virtual support is a game changer. I am delighted today to be joined by the lovely Jay Chopra from Making Shift Happen. Jay is actually one of our clients at Virtually Priceless. I think we've been working together now for a couple of years, Jay.
I'd say that. It sounds about right, Holly, yeah.
And Jay is a seasoned leadership and teams development expert with a rich background as a former Fortune 100 executive. He has a PhD in science and he's committed to making work human. And his belief is by integrating business acumen, emotional intelligence, and equation-based logic, he translates abstract leadership concepts such as trust building into practical tool-based strategies that deliver tangible change. So Jay, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Sorry, yeah, delighted to be on VPTV. Happy to be here.
Thank you. So do you want to just start maybe by telling us a little bit more about your business and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you said there, Holly, we make work more human, really. So it's things like leadership development, team development, diversity and inclusion work. According to Trump, it doesn't exist anymore, but it definitely does. We're all diverse by nature. Culture change work, and really helping people to be more effective at what they do, but also making workplaces great places to work. So we really enjoy doing that and deliver good value to our clients from doing that as well. So that's sort of what we do. We mainly work in with blue chip clients and in Ireland and across Europe and internationally as well. So that's sort of what we do, Holly.
Yeah, fabulous. And at what point in your business journey did you realize that you needed to bring in some virtual support?
Yeah, I think a couple of years ago, I guess we realized that we were sort of scaling and that maybe the infrastructure to scale wasn't there, and the processes definitely weren't there, or it was just more of an entrepreneurial type setup. Like myself, I know, even though I'm not very process focused myself, I do value processes, and I know how important they are as the foundation that can kind of stabilize the business, So I suppose any leader that sort of knows what they're doing, I guess they mitigate for their weaknesses. And one of my weaknesses would be putting those processes in place. I see the value in them, but I'm just not naturally intrinsic at doing it.
Yeah.
So trying to find, a partner or a VA who's really good at structure and really good at process, putting in that sort of at the time it was like a project management framework like Monday.com that would give us the rigor to be able to, see where all our projects were and track them and build that whole project management infrastructure. Again, as I say, I'd value it. I know it's important, but I wouldn't be able to build it myself because it just wouldn't float my boat, and it's not what I'm good at. Not what I'm good at. So I think it's in the mitigation for weaknesses, and specifically when you're trying to scale that bit, that was sort of the sweet spot where I thought the VA would the right VA would be able to sort of help us in that space, Holly.
Yeah, that's it. It's about recognizing what you need, isn't it, and finding the right resource to make that happen.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what it is, and it's smart rather than trying to do an average job at something that you don't really like doing. I think it's smarter to outsource it, and you can spend your time then on the more value add things, or the things where you can add more value to the business, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've touched upon project management support there and setting up things like Monday.com. But what other tasks does Victoria handle for you?
Yeah, so and the great thing about her, she's like a task ninja. She's so quick at getting things done. It's like Love before that. You even say it, it's done, and I'm like, oh my god, Victoria, the task ninja. So basically, she definitely does. She really supports us on the content creation side of things as well. Mm-hmm. So whether that be social media or producing microbooks or general admin tasks, even creating really good visuals as well. Do you know what I mean? And nothing's ever a problem. If she doesn't know how to do it, she has the smarts to figure out how to do it really quickly. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Even if she doesn't know herself, she'd be intrinsically really good at organizational and structural tasks anyway. But even if she's not, she'd figure it out really quickly, which is something I really like about her. That it's yeah, I'm not sure how to do it, but I figure it out in the next, and she figures it out, you know. So it's, for me, that's what you need, someone that even if they don't know how, they'll figure out how really quickly, and they'll be really good at it really quickly because they're process driven and detailed and
Yeah.
structured. So I think that was that's the bit for me. Even if there's like ad hoc random tasks, I come up with one of my random ideas, and you need a bit of detail and structure under it, or even how do you do it? Like this is a great idea, but how do we implement that? She'd always go and be able to figure that out, and that's what I like. It's not just the prescriptive routine things. She's adding value as well, and
real
sort
problem
of like
solver.
problem solver, exactly, Holly, and multidiscipline as well. It's not just stuck in one discipline. She'll give things a go, even if it's not in her sweet spot at that time, but very quickly develops the capability, you know. So
yeah, definitely. So how has having a VA changed the way you work or helped you grow your business?
Well, in terms of the way I work, I think really it's just, I know that those tasks that we're talking about, the various tasks, I just know they're in safe hands, and I don't have to worry about them, or I don't have to check up on them to make sure they're done, or anything like that. So that's taken care of, and that's really good. You know, that you can just say, yeah, that's in safe hands. Fantastic. And again, I can put my focus where I need to be putting my focus for where my strengths are. So that's the big thing. And I think that more of a structured approach to thought leadership, I think that's really what Victoria is helping us with now, is that there's various pieces we're putting out there for thought leadership, whether it be microbooks or social media content or articles. And I see her as sort of like providing the structure to make that happen. So I don't even think it's a thing, but what I kind of frame it in my head is like thought leadership enablement really is where Victoria is adding real value, you know, and that's great because that enhances the brand, and then just allows us to sort of get on with what we're doing every day then as well, while the brand has been enhanced and you're adding value to the brand through thought leadership. So, and I think that is virtually priceless.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
What I think, you know. And it is though. Like, I mean, you've got to be in our game. You've got to be doing good work at what we're doing, but you've also got to be like sort of positioning yourself genuinely and authentically as a thought leader. I mean, that's, you know, and it is
definitely, and that growing the personal brand piece is such a huge piece of work, isn't it? And the thing is that there are certain pieces that you have to do. You've got to create the content, you've got to come up with the original material, but that sort of transmission and sharing it with the world, you don't actually need to be part of that. You need someone to take that process away for you.
Exactly. And honestly, Holly, like, we were never able to get to it. Like, it wasn't being done, and it was frustrating me. Do you know, like, as in, like, we were just in doing getting our projects done and serving our clients, and it's always niggling away at the back of me. I want to be getting my content out there. I want to be, you know, I want to be doing more of these things, but just the enablement and the structure wasn't there to make it happen. So I rest easier at night knowing it's happening. It's not niggling away in my background. In the background.
Oh, that's good to hear. It's great to hear it's working so well for you. So what would you say to other business owners who perhaps might be hesitant about hiring virtual support?
I would say give it a go. You know, like, I think the best it's like if you're buying a car, you gotta test drive it, you know. So even if you test drive it for a smaller period of time, like as a sort of a pilot project, and just see how it goes. I think you could be analyzing it forever. You know, it's like, to try it out for a 3 or a 6 month period isn't going to break the bank. You know what I mean? So I think rather than trying to analyze and say, is it worth doing? You know, I'd say, I think you find it is, if you find the right VA, which your folks are, Holly, and if you find the right fit. So I would say give it a go. Maybe start small and build from there to build your own confidence in it if you are skeptical, because some people are skeptical, around things like that. That's the first thing I would say. You know, test drive it in a sort of a small, controlled way, and maybe reach out to people like myself. I'd always be happy to speak to people to kind of firsthand share the experience and what it's done for me, a bit like we're doing here. But I would say, jump in, give it a go in a controlled way, and you've nothing to lose, really, you know. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, love that. And what are your top tips for working effectively with a VA? How do you guys communicate day to day? Sort of, how do you make that relationship work for you?
It's a good question, and I think it's about sort of being clear about what the ask is in terms of what you'd like to do. But I'm not the kind of guy who'll be overly prescriptive on the how anyway, because it's not my strength. But I know, for example, with Victoria, that is her strength. You know, even if you look at it from a Herman Brain perspective, like in that green quadrant or whatever, you know, that's her strength. So I know that if I say, oh, I'd like to do this, and I know she'll figure out how to do it and how to do it the best way. And even the product I was thinking in the first place will be even better than it is. So I think it's not to be stiflingly directive, and trust the other person, just give the general direction, and then trust the other person to give it a first attempt. And then, I think you give feedback and then evolve it from there, because like, I mean, if you're too prescriptive, you just need a robot, really, which isn't exactly, you know what I mean? So like Victoria has a lot of talent, so, and will do it better than I ever could. So if I just kind of give a general direction and we see where it'll go, and she brings her talent to the table then, and we're equal partners. I mean, that's I think being overly stifling in terms of directiveness, you have to give a general direction, but if it's too prescriptive, I think you might as well sue yourself anyway. So it doesn't make sense. You kind of have to empower, you know what I mean? There has to be an empowerment piece in it, like, I think. And you
got to trust the expert.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And that's why you're hiring the expert in that space, So exactly, Holly. Trust the expert. That's bang on.
Yeah. And if Victoria's watching this, which I'm sure she will be, what would you like to say to her?
I know Victoria's great. Like, she knows what I think of her capability. I think she's absolutely fantastic at what she does. Delighted we have her, on board as part of the team. And just keep doing what you're doing, and adding value, and it's much appreciated. Absolutely. And we probably don't stop and recognize people enough these days in a work environment, because we're often busy and moving things on. But so a genuine thank you to Victoria for all the support she gives us, and her attention to detail, but also her service orientation. She's almost too fast on some of the tasks. I'm like, oh my God, it's back to me already. Like, slow down, I can't review it. You're going too fast. Genuinely. And like, so like that's the biggest compliment I could give her. Like, she's very, very diligent, very service orientated as well. And I think both of those together they're just fab qualities, So thank you, Victoria, is what I would say.
Fantastic. Well, that's great to hear. And finally, where's the best place for people to connect with you? Is that on LinkedIn? Is that your go-to?
Yeah, LinkedIn, definitely, Holly. That's where I tend to hang out, on LinkedIn.
Brilliant.
And you just find me under my name, Jay Chopra, on LinkedIn, or looking up Making Shift Happen as well. We have an interesting project that Victoria helps with as well, called the Honesty Box Project. So it might be good to give that a shout out from our website.
Absolutely.
On makingshifthappen.ie. It's just, they're all free micro books around different topics like leadership development or team development or innovation. And they're free micro books. And when you read them, we just ask somebody does a random act of kindness, or maybe donate €5 to charity or something like that. So that's why it's called the Honesty Box. So that we trust you to pass on the random act of kindness or the small donation to charity. So look, it's probably worth giving that a shout out as well, Holly, because it's a nice movement, but there's some good content in there as well. And it wouldn't be there only for Victoria's support as well. So.
Love it. Fantastic. Well, we'll make sure we pop all the links in the show notes and share all those resources. But thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy day to join us today. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Yeah. Thanks for having me, Holly. Yeah. On VPTV. I love it.
Thank you so much.
I really love it. Thanks a million, Holly. Yeah.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having me.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Take care.